Good morning, everyone. We are a little bit early starting. Should be getting started in a moment. Give people a few minutes to check in. So happy Saturday. It's another beautiful day outside. Alright, so we can get started. We will begin in posture of Sukhasana, or easy seat. So kind of shift side to side and allow your body to kind of settle into its space this morning. So crossing one leg in front of the other, or you can sit in half lotus or sit on a block or blanket or something that makes you comfortable so that your spine can be nice and tall, shoulders can be relaxed, and you can sit for just a few moments just to close your eyes and let the body become still physically. So as you start to move into stillness in the physical body, start to focus on your breath. And at first, just be aware of the quality of your breath, whether or not it feels shallow or if you can deepen it just a little bit. Begin to bring the breath in and out through the nose. And let's bring the right hand to the heart and the left hand to the belly. And we'll start to breathe into the belly. So breath moving into the left hand as the belly rises. Breath coming into the lungs, the ribs as they expand outward, out to the sides and into the back body. Breath moving up and into the right hand, into the chest, all the way up and toward the collarbone. And then as you exhale, breath flowing out through right hand as the ribs begin to descend downward and inward. And then the breath leaves the body as the navel moves toward the spine. Again, we'll do that breathing into left hand, into the belly, up into the ribs, up into the chest, and then down and out through the chest, down and out through the belly. Again, inhaling and exhaling. And then bringing a count to the breath, perhaps a count of 4 as you inhale. Holding at the top of the breath for 2. And then exhaling for a count of 4 or 6 with another brief hold at the bottom of the breath for 2. Again, inhale and exhale. Continuing with this, just noticing the simple act of drawing your awareness into the breath and sort of away from the external, and then drawing the attention inward and help to settle the mind a bit. And we'll take 2 more breaths just like that, in and out through the nose. And then as you take that last breath, bring your hands down towards your lap, and we'll bring the chin down toward the center of the chest. And then as you inhale, bringing the right ear toward the right shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest. And then taking left ear to left shoulder. And we'll do that 3 more times to each side. And try to follow that same cycle of breath, that nice and easy, maybe count of 4 and count of 4, to slow the movement down, to really pay attention to all those subtleties from shoulder to neck. And letting the breath kind of guide the movement. So we're not about kind of bullying our bodies into movement. Just use the breath to really be that gauge of what's comfortable, what your natural range of motion is. Eventually, chin will come back toward the chest. And then as the head lifts, we'll bring the hands together at the heart center to just set an intention for the day. Set an intention for your practice, something that you're working on, kind of being more positive, being more helpful, whatever it is that you want to see kind of your practice help you get to. And then with the hands toward the lap, we'll take 3 shoulder rolls with shoulders up towards your ears, draw them back and down, and another one here, and then last one here. And then we'll reverse that, kind of taking the arms into it, shoulders draw up, elbows draw out and down, and 2 more like that. And then with your hands toward the shoulders, fingertips kind of lightly right toward the edges of the collarbone. We'll allow the elbows to move in and forward, and then up, and then back. And then 2 more like that. Big shoulder rolls. Just waking up the shoulders. And then as the elbows draw back, bring the hands down, come to the fingertips, and just feel that heart lift. Turning the inner elbows outward, lifting the jaw slightly, but don't let the head drop back. Just kind of really elongate, lifting up through the ribs. And then slowly let's bring the hands toward the knees as you round your spine. So simple cats and cows here. Inhaling, open chest, and exhale, draw back. So you might have kind of either switched the cross of the legs or kind of relaxed out of that half lotus if you were in it. Maybe you switched the cross of the legs here for something different in the hips. And then 1 more like that, exhaling. And then as you come to center, bring the hands out to either side so we kind of readjust and make that long spine. Turn the palms up and inhale, look up toward the hands, and then reverse the palms, exhale, bring the hands down. Maybe the chin kind of comes toward the chest as the hands come down. Maybe the gaze lifts as the arms lift, or you can just keep a neutral gaze. So feel the breath, imagine that it's lifting the arms for you. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale, we'll reach tall, keep the arms lifted, and as you exhale, twisting toward the left, bring your right hand across to the left knee, left hand comes behind you for support. Find that length as you inhale, and then the exhale maybe brings the gaze back behind you. So drawing that belly in, dropping both shoulders down, and then as you look forward, we'll take the arms up, deep breath, exhale off to the right. Take that moment to adjust and lengthen the spine, inhale and exhale, look behind you. And then as you gaze forward, arms reach up, and then exhale, hands down by your side. So we'll switch the cross of the legs if you haven't already. Readjust the sit bones. Inhale, lift up. And on the exhale, left hand comes down, right arm reaches over. Inhale, lift up, and over toward the right. And we'll take that twice more. Usually by the 3rd time, we can get a little bit deeper into side body. Inhale, lengthen, exhale. And last one here, breathe in. Exhale, let's hold the side just for a breath or 2. Readjust, lifting up through right ribs, opening up the chest so that left shoulder kind of rolls under. Look up under the arm if you can. And then as you inhale, come all the way up. Exhale toward the right side. And take a moment to really kind of spiral the chest upward, reach out through left hand, press down through left hip or sit bone. 1 more breath into left ribs. And then slowly coming up to center. We'll take it forward here, so just bring the hands down in front of you. No need to reach for anything just yet. Try to open up through the collarbone, lift the heart, press back through your sit bones, and then just walk your hands gently forward. So you'll really notice every inch that you walk forward, there's a different sensation. So kind of pay attention to each of those sensations into the hips and into the low back before you rush yourself forward. And inhale, lengthen, and then exhale. Maybe the elbows come down. Relax your head here. Just take a few deep breaths back into the hips and into the low back. And then on the next inhale, walk your hands back about halfway, and we'll walk the hands around toward the right side. Make sure that you're pressing the left sit bone down, rolling the right shoulder open. Take the collarbone nice and broad forward, and then walk your hands forward. So I can feel, I haven't done this one in a while, so I can really feel this in my left hip. And then as you lengthen, walk it around to center, pause for that deep breath in, and then exhale over toward the left side. Lengthening on your inhale, pressing right sit bone down, collarbone broadens open toward left diagonal space, and then fold forward. And we'll slowly walk to center, bringing yourself back up. And then we'll inhale, lift up. And as you exhale, hands come back behind you once again, turning the palms outward. Maybe you're on the fingertips. Lift the heart here. If you'd like to, you can lift the hips as well to open up front side body. But try to kind of roll those shoulders back and open. Squeezing shoulder blades down. And then as you exhale, hips come back down. Walk your hands back a little bit so you can rest into flat palms. Take the feet out to either side, and we'll just rock the knees from side to side. Just starting to move around through the hip socket. And then we'll drop the knees over toward the left side. Right knee comes in toward left foot. Bring your right hand to your hip. And we'll drop the hip back and then bring it forward. So we're just noticing how the direction of the hips affects how the chest kind of turns around toward the left side. So we're going to drop that right hip back and then bring that right hip forward. So we're really leaning into left hand. Reach back and reach for the top of the right foot just to stretch that right hip flexor and quad. And then we'll relax that foot back. Take that right hand around, bring it around all the way toward the left shoulder. So we can feel the hands now down onto the floor. Roll your left shoulder open. And then just as we did in our seated forward fold, we're just going to walk your hands forward, kind of one bit at a time. Just notice what's happening in the right side of the low back. You might be able to walk your hands back a little further. You can stay up on your hands, or you can come down onto the forearms. Just make sure it's comfortable, and that you want to keep the weight even in both forearms and both arms so that the shoulders can be neutral. And then keep kind of drawing the ribs forward a bit. You might even feel yourself rolling a little bit more onto this left hip. Inhaling and exhaling. And we'll come back up onto the hands. Good. Take the right hand and sweep it around and let the knees lift as your right hand comes behind you. And then we'll just rock the knees from side to side. So just back and forth with the knees. And then we'll lower our knees toward the right. The left knee is right toward that right foot. Good. And we'll take that left hand around toward the shoulder. Good. And then we'll bring it toward the hip. So just leaning into the right hand. Drop that left hip back. And then pressing it forward. And then draw it back. And then we'll press it forward and hold it there, reaching back for the top of that left foot. So as you grab the foot, you don't want to allow the left hip to sink back. You want to continue to press that forward, almost lengthening your tailbone. Taking a moment to stretch that left hip flexor. And then relaxing the foot down. Left hand comes around and taps the shoulder to kind of encourage the chest to open now toward the right. So rolling that right shoulder open, settle into the side. And then walk your hands forward, kind of inch by inch until you feel that you can maybe lower the elbows down. Again, so it's not necessary to bring the elbows down. You can stay central. So the weight is even from elbow to elbow, from forearm to forearm. And if your hands are down, imagine you can push the hands into the floor and squeeze the elbows without moving them on the floor, just kind of squeezing the elbows toward the hips. So you're rolling a little bit onto that right hip, almost drawing the heart forward between the arms. So imagine you can rotate the ribs a little bit more toward the floor. And then we're going to walk the hands back up, taking left hand, sweep it back around, and lift the knees, rock the legs from side to side. And we'll come around into a tabletop. So if you need to pad your knees, bring a blanket underneath the knees. And we'll just start to align ourselves, knees under hips, hands under shoulders, spread the hands nice and wide. And we're just going to circle the torso kind of over the hands. So we're just going to kind of feel a stretch in the wrists here. So drawing yourself back and forward and out to the side. So the hips are kind of circling over the knees and the shoulders are circling over the wrists. And as we start to circle in the other direction, maybe we can tuck the toes under here so you can feel a stretch in the soles of the feet. And then drawing the knees closer toward one another, tuck all 10 toes under, and then set the hips back toward the heels. try to kind of press the inner arches together and kind of pushing into the hands here. And you can start to walk the hands back a little bit, or you can sit up on the heels. So take a moment to roll your shoulders back. You're going to bring your right hand forward. So if this is uncomfortable, feel free to untuck the toes and just kind of sit back on the heels. Or if you need a comfortable seat, sit on the sit bones. But we're going to stretch the hands. So we're going to bring the right palm forward, level with the shoulder, and just use the left hand to kind of draw the fingertips down toward the floor as you press your wrist forward. Try not to let that right shoulder creep up toward the ear. And then we'll simply turn the palm down and draw the top of the wrist forward and fingertips toward the floor. And then shaking that out, left hand forward, turn the palm up, and use the right hand to send the left fingertips toward the floor and press the wrist forward. And then we'll take the left palm down, sending the top of the wrist forward, fingertips toward the floor. And then we'll shake that out, come forward onto the hands. Good, and then uncurl those toes. And sometimes it's nice to just kind of kick the floor a little bit to loosen up the tops of the feet. And then we'll send the knees nice and wide, toes together, press the hips toward the heels, and come back into child's pose. You can allow your body to kind of drop side to side. Walk your hands forward and bring your hands a little bit wider so that you can have space for the shoulders. Let the head drop down between the arms. Maybe the forehead touches here. Taking a deep breath, feel the ribs expand out and in toward the inner thighs. And then we'll lift and lengthen halfway. Walk the hands over toward the right side and really press the left hip way back past your left heel. Reaching your hands forward, settle the shoulders evenly down toward the floor, head toward the floor. And then we'll walk to center and all the way across toward the left side. Press your right hip way back. And then we'll gently walk yourself forward, round your way up into that tabletop, knees back under the hips. We'll start to move through cats and cows. So inhale as you look up, exhale, round your spine, navel draws back to your spine, and inhale, open your heart, and exhale, round. So doing that 3 more times through, really inhaling and exhaling. Maybe you close your eyes and really listen to your breath as it flows in, as it flows out. One more time as you round your spine. And then we'll come into neutral spine. Take the right foot back, press up through the heel, come forward to the toes, back through the heel, and then we'll lift that right foot. Take it across the body toward the left, and we'll curl back to look at the toes. So the ball of the right foot is on the floor out to the left. And then we'll take it to neutral. Bring the knee in toward the chest as you exhale. Inhale, press back. If you want to add your left arm, you can do that. Pull the elbow toward the knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, round. And one more time here, extending out. Take the left hand down. And we'll bring the right knee back up into your chest. Bring it out to the right and then down. So just big hip circles here. And change the direction. Come back and forward. And then bring that back knee down, and then left foot back. Press out through the heel, forward to toes, back through heel, forward to toes, and then left foot lifts. Bring it across toward the right, come to the ball of the foot, curl back to look at the toes. Nice stretch along the left hip. And then send that left leg straight back. Exhale, knee comes in toward your nose. Inhale, reach back, or you can use that right arm. Exhale. Inhale. Last one, hug in. Reach long. And then take the right knee down. Left knee in towards your chest, out to the side, up and back. So 2 big circles in this direction. And then reversing the direction, coming the other way. And then bringing the knees down. And we'll curl the toes under once again. Knees are under the hips. And we'll just hover the knees about 1 inch from the floor. So just really push the floor away, kind of retract the shoulder blades, so push the shoulder blades away from one another almost. So it's almost like you're rounding the spine. Try not to let the hips lift here. Nice and level, draw the belly in. And we're going to kind of drop the hips toward the right a little bit and then toward the left. You might be kind of rolling to the outer edge of the foot as you come over to the right and over toward the left. Come back to center and let's let the knees come down. Good, press it back, take a child's pose. Bring the hands back toward the heels to kind of relax the wrists. Taking some circles with the hands. Good, so we're going to go through that one more time with the knees hovering. We're going to try to kind of feel the weight shift from hand to hand. So we're going to curl those toes, go ahead and lift the knees, and we're going to lower our heels toward the right. Feel the weight shift into your right hand. Take the left hand toward the side of the head and kick the right foot out in front of you so that it's the right foot. Come back to center, into that table with knees lifted, heels drop toward the left, weight comes into the left hand, kick the right foot out, right hand comes to the side of the head. So we're going to come towards center, heels to the right, kick the right foot out to the left, back to center, drop your heels to the left, weight comes into the left hand, kick your left foot out, and we'll do one more toward the right, center, and left, and center. Good, knees down wide, toes together, and press back. Take that child's pose. Come back to that natural big, long, deep breath in, and that long breath out. So we'll take 3 more breaths just like that here in child's pose. And as you round your spine, come back up into your table. Let's curl our toes under and find downward facing dog. So we'll start to pedal the feet out here, loosening up the backs of the legs. Let the hips drop from side to side. Weight goes down and forward into the hands. So just make sure your hands are spread nice and wide. And then shake the head yes and no here. See if you can relax the head, between the arms and pushing the hands into the floor. Hips lift up and back into your upside down V for downward facing dog. And let's rise onto the toes. Bend your knees. And then slowly walk your feet up between your hands. So feet are nice and wide. Toes turned out a little bit, knees bent, and just hang into ragdoll. Allow the body to kind of let go of any effort from the hips downward. You can hold opposite elbows to just feel a little bit of extra weight, drawing the crown of the head down toward the floor. And then loosening up through the shoulders, let the hands drop down toward the floor, and we'll press down through the heels and slowly bend the knees as you roll up, one vertebra at a time. And as you come up to stand, take a moment to just roll your shoulders back. And a couple times here, inhale, and exhale, and then inhale, and then exhale. With your hands down by your side, toes and heels together, feel yourself into your strong mountain pose. So the palms can kind of face out. That just allows your shoulders to open. Tailbone lengthening toward the floor. So the crown of the head is lifting. The chin drops just a bit so that the chin is level with the floor. And we'll take an inhale. Lift the arms all the way up toward the sky. Exhale, soft knees, belly toward your thighs as you fold forward. Let the breath out. Inhale with your hands to the shins, crown of the head moves forward. Engage your back muscles here. Inhale. Exhale, soften knees and fold. Inhale, strong back, arms reach all the way up toward the sky. Top of the breath here. Exhale, palms touch, Samastiti, hands to your heart center. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, soft knees, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way up. Reach high, exhale, palms touch heart center. And we'll add on here, we'll breathe in, reach high, moving from the top of the mat. Exhale, fold forward. Inhaling, come halfway up. Bend your knees here, step the right foot back, move it to runner's lunge. Making sure that left knee is over the ankle, move your right leg is back, as far as it can go. Really press that right heel back, and then lower the right knee toward the floor. Uncurl those right toes so the top of the foot's on the floor, and on an inhale, lift both arms high. Take a moment here. Anjaneyasana, or low lunge. Shoulders drop back. Breathe here. Let's make sure you're not really kind of letting go of all effort in the belly. There's still that kind of navel to spine, root to rise up through the crown of the head. Inhale. As you exhale, hands come down toward the floor. Root into the palms, curl your back toes, lift the knee, and stepping it back to a high plank pose. And on the exhale, your knees can come down, elbows draw in, chest and chin through the hands. On the inhale, hips come down, tops of the feet down, roll your shoulders back, lift the back of the head, the gaze is up toward the top edge of the mat, hands reach back, feet lift, and inhale. Exhale, come back down, forehead down, hands under the shoulders, curl your toes from your knees, press up, and then back into downward facing dog. On the inhale, right leg lifts up toward the sky. Exhale, right foot between your hands, runner's lunge. Right knee over the ankle, left knee comes down, top of the foot comes down. On the inhale, reach up. Inhale, exhale, sink forward. Kind of allow that right heel and left knee to draw in toward one another. And spread across the tops of the shoulders, a little more softening there. Another breath here. And then on the exhale, hands come down toward the floor. Lift your back knee as you curl the back toes. This time we'll step left foot forward to meet the right. Come up halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise tall. Exhale, palms touch heart center. Inhale, lift high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to your halfway lift. Bend your knees. This time left foot steps back. Runner's lunge to low lunge, left knee down, arms lift up. And adding a little something into this, we're going to bring the left hand down. Right hand spirals open, a twist toward the right side. Exhale, hand comes down. Slide your hands back, fold over right leg. So start to straighten that right leg. Left knee is over the ankle. Take a breath in, lengthen forward, toes of the right foot lifting. Exhale and fold. Inhale, come up halfway, bend that right knee back over the ankle. Hands come to the floor, palms touch, left knee lifts. Step back, high plank. Exhale, lower the knees. Elbows tight to the body, look forward, chest and chin come down. Push forward, top of the head down, tops of the feet down. Roll your shoulders back. Slide your hands back. Maybe this time hands interlace toward the low back as you lift up, Shalabhasana. Spreading through the toes. Make sure you're not jutting the chin forward. So the gaze is down. Lift up a little higher, next breath in. And exhale, slowly release down. Forehead down, tops of the feet down. Hands under the shoulders. Draw the elbows in, curl your toes. Press up. Back into downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Exhale, let go. Left leg extends up and back. Exhale, left foot between your hands, right knee down. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Inhale, one more lift. Exhale, hands come down. You're going to slide the left arm up to twist. And then left hand comes down. Slide your hands back, right hip comes over the knee, left toes lift as you fold forward. Inhale to your flat back, got a lot of space here. Exhale and fold. Inhale, back into that left knee over the ankle. Palms touch, lift your back knee. Step right foot forward to meet the left. Come up halfway and then fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, palms touch heart center. Okay, let's stake the feet. Maybe you take a step back so you're kind of facing sideways on your mat. Sorry about that. Good. And then just turn the toes out a little bit and allow your arms to swing side to side. Just kind of let all the effort go in the arms. And then as you come to center, take the feet nice and wide apart, and turn the toes out, slide the hands down toward the knees, coming into kind of goddess, just with the low body though. So we're gonna just bring the knees right over the ankles, make sure you're not collapsing the knees inward, and lengthen your tailbone, so try not to stick the butt out here. And sink as low as you can into those hips. Hands come toward the knees. See if you can get those arms to straighten. We're gonna dip right shoulder forward, just twisting toward the left side. Center, the other side. Center, one more to either side. And then come to center, cross the arms in front of you, and then inhale, lift all the way up, 5-pointed star. Exhale, palms touch to your heart. So let's turn the toes inward. Heels are a little bit wider than the toes. Hands will come towards your waist as you open up through the chest. Take a breath here, and then as you exhale, lead with the heart and hinge at the hips. Come about halfway down. So we're going to take our hands, press them into your thighs. So imagine that the crown of the head is moving away from the hips here. Shoulders draw back. Good. And we'll take the right hand toward the floor. Slide left hand toward the left shoulder. Take a big circle as the shoulder, as the elbow lifts toward the sky. You're pushing into the right hand to open up. Staying here, left arm lifts. So keep driving the heels down. And then we're going to bring that left hand down halfway. We're going to soften the knees. Bring the weight into your right hand. So remember what we did earlier from our table. The weight's going to come into your right hand. Weight comes into the left foot. Lift your right foot. Bring it between right hand and left foot and sit down. Good. Coming into Navasana. So the knees are drawing in towards your chest. Hands will come behind the knees. Shoulders draw back. Arms reach forward. So try not to collapse and round the spine. If you're starting to do that, just bring the hands toward the backs of the knees and reset. So shoulders draw back. If you'd like, you can straighten the legs here. Bring the gaze out past the toes. Lifting the heart, spreading across through the collarbone. And then we'll bring the hands toward the knees. Bring your left foot down. So your right foot stays up. Bring your right hand down. So your right foot is lifted. Your right hand is out next to your hip. Bring your left hand out in front of you. So you're going to bring the weight into your right hand. See if you can lift the hips. And then we're coming back into that wide-legged forward fold. Slide your right foot out to the side. And then hands come under the shoulders. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Let's take a forward fold as you exhale. Hands can come toward the floor here. You can stay here, or you can walk the hands back, keeping the elbows over the wrists, keeping the weight into your heels. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to walk our hands back out in front. Bending through the knees, take the toes wide, bend the knees. And we're going to round up, come into that standing 5-pointed star. Exhale, palms touch to heart center. Toes are turned out. Bend the knees. And then hands come toward the knees once again. Taking those twists, drop into the left shoulder. Look toward the right. Center. And toward the left. Center. One more time to each side. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Inhale to center. Good. Arms stretch up. Toes turned in. Exhale, hands down by your side. So now toes are a little closer together than the heels once again. So we're going to press into your thighs, come halfway down. And then we'll bring the left hand down under the shoulder. Right hand to your shoulder. Spiral right shoulder forward. Press into left hand as you open up and reach right hand high. Try not to collapse and drop down through left hip. So you almost want to feel more evenness in the hips here. Inhale. And as you exhale, right hand comes halfway down. Weight comes fully into the left palm. So you want to bend your knees in order to get there. Bring the weight into your left hand. Lunge a little bit toward the right so that the weight comes out of the left foot. Enough to lift that left foot. Bring it between your right foot and left hand as you sit down into Navasana. You can take your adjustments here. Hands come behind the knees. Relax your shoulders, reach your hands forward. Again, you can straighten the legs here. Any variation that feels most productive. maximum effort. Hug those knees in, heart lifts. So I like to turn my palms slightly up. It kind of reminds me to draw the shoulders down. One more breath here. And then hands come behind the knees. This time the right foot comes down. And we're going to bring the left hand down. So you're going to keep that right foot left foot lifted. Okay, so we got this. Right foot is down, left foot is lifted, left hand is down. So you're going to bring the weight into the left hand, so you're leaning into that left hand, lift the hips, and then bring that left foot out into our wide-legged forward bend. Good. Taking a couple lunges from side to side. Let's lunge to the right, center, lunge to the left. Center, and the other side. You're gonna come back to center, hands come to your waist, and big breath in as you come all the way to the top. So here we're going to come into warrior two. We're going to take our right toes and point them toward the front side of our mat. Left outer edge of the foot is parallel with the other side of the mat. So just leave your hands on your waist for now and straighten and bend the right leg. So a common thing is to bring that right knee way out past the ankle. We want to kind of bend as much as we can into the right leg without the knee going past the ankle. So you might need to move that left foot out a little bit toward the back edge of the mat. And then you really want that gaze to come down toward the right big toe. You want to be able to see that big toe out beyond your right knee. Hands go forward and back into Virabhadrasana 2. So bringing the chin over the right shoulder to look toward the front. Inhale here, sink a little bit deeper as you exhale. And then we'll take the right palm up, lean it back into reverse warrior. So you're reaching your right hand back, but we're sending the right knee forward. And then back into warrior two. Reach out, bring your right elbow towards your right thigh, turn your left palm up, and come into your extended side angle. And as you come back into warrior two, straighten that front leg, hands back to your waist. Move your right foot in just a little bit here, moving into Trikonasana or triangle pose. Tip and reach your right hand forward. Your right hand can come to the shin or the floor inside your right foot. Open up through the heart and look up. Taking a few deep breaths here, softening top ribs. Deep inhales, long exhales. Sometimes it takes a couple moments just to get into a place that's comfortable. Good. And then as you reach up through the left hand, use that top arm to slowly bring you all the way up. Hands back to your waist. Turn your right toes in, turn your left toes out toward the back edge of the mat. So now you might want to widen the stance here. So just figure out where you want to be with that deep knee bend to bring your left knee over the ankle. And settling down, relaxing the ribs, making sure they're neutral, arms open, and look back over left hand. As you take your left palm up, reach back, legs don't change. So try to lose the grip in the toes here. Bring your left knee a little more forward, reach a little more back with your left hand. And then we'll come back up through warrior two. Tip and reach, left forearm comes to the thigh, right palm up, reach it up and over. So make sure you're not collapsing into the left shoulder. We're still using that press of that left forearm. Press more into your right foot to reach more through your right hand. And then we'll come back up through warrior two and straighten that left leg, hands back to your waist. Be a little less space between the feet. Hands reach out to either side. Tip and reach, left hand, and then bring it down either to the shin or the floor, right arm reaches high. So try to draw the ribs back a little bit, lengthen your tailbone. So try not to reach for anything with that left hand. You want to be kind of open through front side body, right shoulder is open. And then where does it feel best to look? You might want to look down towards your left foot, or maybe it feels good to open up and look up towards your right thumb. Good. And then can you start to deepen the breath? We'll take 3 more breaths as you are. And then as you look down, maybe using that top arm, bring yourself all the way up. Slide back into Virabhadrasana 2. Good. And then we'll straighten that left leg. Hands come back to your waist. Good. And then we'll take one more forward fold. So this time your hands might come together at the low back. Take a moment to inhale. Exhale, come about halfway down. So you can have that moment to reassess if you like the sensation of the shoulders here, or you can exhale, start to come down. Hands come up and off the low back. Crown of the head comes toward the floor. So for me, that's not something my shoulders are liking today, so we're gonna kind of just relax your hands toward the floor. And then as you inhale, come up about halfway. Hands under the shoulders, hands now towards your waist, and we'll come all the way up. And with soft knees, we'll just kind of work our legs back toward one another. And go ahead and shake the legs out here. And we'll work into one standing balance. That's kind of, we've done a lot with wide legs, so bringing everything close toward one another. We're going to move into eagle pose. So we're going to bring the feet together, toes together. And let's take one chair pose. Let's sink the hips back and bring the arms forward, weights in those heels. And then lengthen the tailbone. And with your hands out to a T, let's take the right arm over the left and come into eagle pose with the arms. Sink down a little bit more. And then the weight comes into the right foot. So come to the ball of the left foot. And find where the weight is, being distributed in your right foot. We're going to lift that left leg. Bring it across and squeeze the thighs together. Send your right heel back. Maybe you can bring the left foot behind the right and then sink down. Fingertips lift, but don't let the shoulders go along for the ride. Hug the shoulders down. One more inhale and exhale. And we'll slowly unwind. Feet come down, arms lift, and then heart center. Exhale. And one more time, chair pose. Arms wide. This time left is over right. Into eagle pose with the arms. Weight comes into the left foot. Right foot lifts. Cross it over the left. Try to bring the knees straight forward. Fingertips high, shoulders down. One more deep inhale. And exhale. Slowly unwind the arms. Feet come down, arms lift. Exhale. Take it forward fold. And inhaling to your halfway lift, bend your knees. Let's step it back into downward facing dog. And as the knees come down, we're going to send our hips to one side, swing our legs around. Take your hands back behind you. Once again, just kind of rock the legs from side to side. Good. So we're going to take the right leg up and in towards you. Flexing the left toes, bring the right knee down and out to the side. And we'll turn towards your left extended leg. We'll open up the arms. And as you exhale into Janu Sirsasana, bring your hands towards your foot. Take an inhale to lengthen. Exhale and fold. So take a couple of breaths here and notice where you're finding most sensation. So is it behind the left leg, or maybe it's the right low back? See if you can breathe into those sensations. Try to even out the sensation and awareness from one spot to the other. So see if you can really try to smooth the sensation out using the breath. And then we'll slowly begin to walk your hands back up. Go ahead and lift that right knee. You're gonna hug the knee in to kind of lift up through the chest. So you can take the right foot across the left if you'd like to, or you can tuck the left foot in. So make sure both sit bones are down and that left heel is right outside the right hip. And then kind of reassess here. You're going to open up through your chest. And we're going to take a twist around toward the right side. So hug the right knee in with the left hand. Take the right arm high, then bring the right hand back behind you to twist toward the right. Right hand comes behind the tailbone. And if you'd like, you can take your left elbow outside the right knee. Just make sure you're not cranking yourself over toward the right too much. You really want to find length first. And exhale, twist. So try to plug that right sit bone back down. A lot of times it starts to travel back, so you want to really remember where you're rooted down into. And so that you can extend a little more upward. And then as we start to look forward, coming out of the twist. So if both legs are folded underneath us, we're just going to bring the right knee on top of the left. So you can take kind of this shoelace pose, lining up knee on top of knee and both sit bones down. So this can be a lot for the hips. It can be a little too much. So if this is, you're struggling with this, bring your left foot forward and then just allow your right knee to kind of come over the left knee. And just the right foot might come up a little bit more, just kind of adjust that. Your hands can always stay behind you here. We're going to take a moment to fold forward. Maybe you're staying up and maybe that's enough. So just kind of assess, take a moment to close your eyes. And if you'd like to, you can exhale and start to come forward. If both legs are tucked under, we just kind of really remind ourselves to stay sit bone to earth. So our sit bones don't want to lift up and off the floor here. And take another moment here to inhale and that long and deliberate exhale. And then as we start to come up, taking a moment, nice tall spine, let's lift the arms up. And as you exhale, left hand will come down. Press your right sit bone toward the floor and lean toward the left. So this feels a lot different when we are, taking a position with the legs to open up the hips. These side bends are a little more intense. So inhale. If you need to unravel the legs, do so. Really find a comfortable way for your low body to be before coming into these side bends. And then inhale, lifting up, and then exhale, hands come back behind you. Go ahead and lean back and unravel the legs. So take whatever you need here, kind of shaking the legs out. Sometimes it's nice to even kind of massage the quads and just kind of really loosen up the muscles, whatever grip was happening there. And we'll take the same sequence on the other side. So this time we're going to slide the left knee in. And a lot of times when you slide the knee in, you start to round. Start to pull the knee in, lifting up, engage your right leg, flex the feet. And then choose our left knee out to the side. So we're going to fold. So we're going to take that left knee down, turn the upper body toward the right leg, flex the toes toward your face, and then walk your hands down. So this is Janu Sirsasana right here. This is Janu Sirsasana. Wherever you are in your journey, just make it comfortable, make it beneficial for you. Make sure you're able to breathe. And so we'll take 2 more breaths. Long breath in, long breath out. 1 more breath. And exhale. And then we'll slowly begin to come all the way up. And then that left knee will lift. Working to bring it either across the body toward the right, or you can tuck this left foot in. But what you want to just always check in between each kind of movement, that are your sit bones plugged in? Are you lifting up through the chest? Can you relax your shoulders down? Can you hug that top knee in toward the body? See if you can press the whole left foot toward the floor. And then we're going to twist toward the left. So the right hand comes around the left knee, left arm lifts. Turn and open the body toward the left. Left hand comes down behind you. And if it's comfortable, the right elbow inside the left knee. You can look behind you. One more inhale. And exhale. And then as you look forward, slowly come out of your twist. And then here you can simply come into, Gomukhasana legs, those crossed shoelace legs, sit bones down, knees lined up, or you can bring that right foot out in front of you and just kind of work to feel that left knee on top of the right. You can take more of a figure 4 if that right leg's extended too. We're going to take a moment to inhale, lengthen up, and then walk your hands down in front, and exhale, start to fold forward. Again, staying rooted back into those left and right sit bones, so you can push into the hands to feel the weight shift back. Good, before folding forward. And then we'll gently start to walk the hands back up, taking that moment to sit up nice and tall. Arms reach up. And then the right hand down, you're going to lean toward the right. Inhale up and over toward the left. And then inhale, lift both arms high, and exhale, hands come back behind you, lean back into the hands, and then bring the feet out in front of you. We're going to shift about 3/4 of the way up so that we can have room behind us to lay back down. And hopefully you guys can see me this week, because last week I was completely cut off. You know, you couldn't even see me on camera, so hopefully you can see me. It looks a little dark, but hopefully you guys can see me. Move all the way down onto your back. Let's draw the knees into your chest and rock side to side. And next time I'll wear a white top, I suppose, or light colored pants. So just kind of circle out through your knees. Bring one hand to each knee and just circle out through the knees. Bring them up and in toward your chest. And then reverse that direction. And let's bring both feet down toward the floor. You're going to reach down toward your heels. The outer edges of your feet parallel with the outer edges of the mat. I'm going to curl the tailbone so you can feel the low back pressing in toward the floor. Shoulders are relaxed. And slowly start to lift the hips up and off the floor. Just make sure the knees are directly underneath or over the ankles, and that the knees don't splay out to the side. You want to draw them straight forward, hips lift, and then roll your shoulders underneath you. So maybe you take like a bird wing, which is bringing your elbows down toward the floor, and then hands come down and out by either side, or you can interlace your fingers together, releasing the pinkies so the whole backs of the arms are pressing to the floor. Keep the gaze neutrally up toward the sky. So pressing down through the backs of the arms, engage the hamstrings. One more breath here. And we'll release the arms. Let's take the hands up and back behind you, rise to the toes, and then exhale, curl slowly down. One vertebrae at a time until the tailbone comes down. Then you can draw the knees back into your chest, rock side to side. Bring the feet up toward the sky, hands up toward the sky. Just circle through your ankles and your wrists. And then even bring some movement into your elbows, so maybe you can circle through your knees, your elbows. And we'll take that left leg, reach it long, right knee comes in towards your chest. And then the right knee comes over the hip, left hand helps it across, so the spinal twist. And reach the right arm out to the side, settle the right shoulder down. And then last thing is the gaze can shift toward the right. And then as you bring the knee back up and into your chest, come back onto your back, left knee in, right leg long. Hug that leg in towards your chest. And then let's bring the left knee over the hip. Right hand helps it up and over toward the right. Left hand reaches palm up, look toward left side. And then bringing the gaze up, left knee in toward your chest. Bring the right knee in. And let's take happy baby. So reaching the feet toward the sky, separate the legs, draw the knees in toward the armpits, hands come to the outside edges of the feet. Just kind of rock from side to side here. Feeling the thighs move down toward the floor. See if the tailbone can be a little more heavy toward the floor. Maybe you kind of straighten one leg and then the other. And let's slowly bring the soles of the feet together. Let's bring the feet down toward the floor, knees wide. And return to that space of breath. So we're going to bring the right hand to the chest, left hand to the belly. Close the eyes. And just start to come back into that space of breath where there's really no movement other than that gentle wave as the breath flows in and flows out. And then moving our way into Shavasana. So bring your hands down to your sides. And you could stay in the position you are with your feet together, or you can stretch the legs out long. And let the eyes close. Let the eyes be heavy. And let the back of the head be heavy down into the floor, everything dropping back. And at the center of each palm, just hold a sort of sense of warmth and stillness, like you're just holding something very delicately in the palm of each hand. And let the legs relax. And be spacious all along the front body. And heavy in all spaces of the back body. And in your mind's eye, can you trace from the crown of the head, moving around the outline of the body, down across the right side of face, neck, shoulder, arm, inside body, down toward one foot, down one side of the leg and up the other side. So just kind of tracing the outline of the body. And bring the awareness to whatever's inside that line, whatever's inside physically, mentally, the space that your body, the physical body occupies, what is inside that line. And then bring the awareness to what's outside. Whatever that space contains, what is it made up of? And then inquire whether or not those two spaces have any difference, whether the outer perimeter of the body is or is not, and are the two the same? What is on the outside of the body potentially meaning nothing, as we're all part of one, meaning we're all the same. And as your body starts to awaken in this new reality, this new space you've created for yourself, start to move very slowly into your fingers and your toes, your ankles and wrists, knees and elbows. Eventually sliding one foot to the floor and then the other, maybe bringing the knees into your chest. And take those rocks from side to side. And eventually rolling onto the right side. And pause there, resting your head and your arm. And then with your eyes gently closed, use the top arm to slowly press yourself up into your comfortable seat. And as you arrive, just find that stillness once again, perhaps hands at heart center. And settle on this new awareness of body internally, body externally. And bring a kindness to each, bring a kindness to yourself, bring a kindness to others, and sending out peace and love to all corners of the universe this morning. Namaste. See you next week.